Banshee, do you now have to make noise? Why are you making so much noise when I'm recording? Hello, do you have to say anything to the camera? Hello, my name is Hidekuni or Hide and welcome back to my channel. If you hear any noise in the background, that's my bunny who now decided to go dig in her digging box. So that's that. But welcome back, and we shall continue to craft and create things. And in my last video I said I will focus more on my big mushroom project, which I might do. I will still continue, but it's the week of KaidanCon and I want to get as much out as possible before that. So that means if I can make multiple little magnets or like my lighter cases, I will try to make as many of those while also working on the mushroom project. And if I should finish everything, that would be great. Like, that's my goal. Of course, I do everything last minute because I need to stress. And of course, I bite off more than what I can chew. So let's see how this will work out. I will take you along. This means we will work with some more paper mache and some resin. And I don't work often with resin, but let's see how this works. Like, one of the first things is like figure out if I can paint with acrylics on resin, and then I need a varnish on top of that, which I might still have to go buy. Something like that. For the mushroom, I ended up adding more of the paper mache and I started covering the head of the mushroom. And I started inside because it was easiest for me to apply the paper mache, because I think the outside was rather flimsy, so I wanted to start in the middle and work from there out. Then I also added some more paper mache to the trunk of the mushroom, like at the bottom, to make it thicker, and I think it's still not thick enough. Like, in comparison to the head of the mushroom, it could be thicker at the bottom, so I will probably add some more of that in the future. And yeah, that was pretty much it what I did for the mushroom in this video, because I decided to focus on the lighter cases and mostly the magnets, which will also be the focus of this video, like the little bunny magnets. At this moment the mushroom is completely dry and ready for me to continue to work on. I will see when I will find the time to do so, hopefully soon, maybe in December. And if I end up continuing working on it, you will have the updates in one of my future videos. Let me introduce you to my lighters. This is something I have sculpted out of Sculpey. It's already baked, that means it's sturdy. And this is supposed to be a lighter case. It means you can take a lighter, put it in, and then it's decorated. That's the idea. So, and I saw quite many people that like sculpted these and then they painted them and put them in some varnish and then they looked super cool. And when I see something I think is cool, I want to make it myself. So I started with this, but sculpting takes a lot of time. So what I did instead, and like that, it's possible for me to make multiple cases from the same design by just purring them. And yes, I was wondering what I can use, and one of the most obvious things is resin, so that's what I did. I made a first purr and that's what came out. I only have like this somewhat transparent one at home. And now I'm wondering if I can paint on it. It fits perfectly, like the lighter is nicely stuck inside, doesn't fall out, yet you get it out rather easily as well. So that's nice. You can hear it click in. And yeah, I wanted to now paint on this, like get some color on there, see how it works, how it will look like. This is my first try. Today is Monday. I have 5 days to figure this out and make it work. But this is not the only design, and I already made molds for the other ones, so I want to show them to you. So the first one is like my whimsical tree, bark, fairy tree. But this is a lighter with one eye and some moss. Like in another one, I had a bug on it, but it broke, and then I was just like, yeah, no, whatever. I just keep it very simple. I like the eye. I like how this one turned out. Then I have something similar, but instead with some dragon scale. At least that's the idea of it. It has a lot of texture, and then excited to see how this would look if it works out. No, yeah. The only thing is, like, if I press, since it's like this in the mold, and this will be always flat, you will not have that structure, like texture on the bottom. So that's the second one. Then I have here something that I have no idea if it will work out. It also broke here. I think in the mold it's not broken though. We'll have to see. Again, it's very experimental. It's a drink package. And then I can like paint on different kinds of designs. Then I have one that broke because of the Sculpey, because it's not that thick, because I sculpted it rather thin. And it's a bit gore adjacent, but I hope that like in the mold it will stay sturdy because out of the resin. But it's supposed to be a bit more gore, like it's like supposed to be skin. And if I manage, of course, it's like a lot of work again. I want to use wire and then connect the holes. That's why I made them like this, sculpted it that way, so it looks like sewn together skin. And then I make it also like bloody and skin adjacent and all that. That's the 4 molds I also have. And then there is one, I have no idea yet how I'm supposed to make the mold, because it's most likely a 2-component mold, and I have to figure out how to pour it, and I don't want to stress myself for it. But this would be super cool in the future. It's a fish, and I would have to see how I make it so I can pour it properly. It's just a silly little guy, and then I can make various kinds of fishes. That's what I have so far. So now I'm getting started with this one. I made a lollipop. I made a construction that will help me paint, because I can hold it like this. And I can reach every angle, every side. Can you please focus? Thank you so much. I literally just do the same thing as I did with my whimsical fairy tree wall decor, so I'm not going into detail of how I made this. It's like literally the last video if you're curious to see, but since it's the same kind of thing. I just use the same technique, and I hope that it will stay. Especially once I apply the varnish later, that it will not scratch off the resin. Like, I looked it up. Apparently you can paint on resin with acrylic paint. I primed it with some gesso and some black. Like, I mixed some black acrylic paint with gesso, so it was like grayish. It looked good. It scratched off very, very slightly, like especially where it was like flat, which is on the bottom. But on the lighter case itself, it stayed. Now I am painting. This is my test lighter, and then I just hope I can do this in one go today. Varnish it, and then tomorrow I see how it turned out. Let's work with resin. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have here my modes, and I'm wearing gloves and a mask. The minimum I can do, and I have also my window open, and I will now try to make some other lighter cases with the other molds. First I will mix everything, and then I will pour it. And now I have no idea what I'm doing, in fact, like, so please be gentle with me. This is the finished piece, and I now painted this within one day. I used not a varnish, it's not sticky, which I like, especially since people will hold it in their hands, and also if it's in a bag or so, I don't want pieces to stick on it. It should be scratch safe as well. And yeah, I will now probably give this to my brother because he smokes, so he always uses a lighter, and I will let him test it because it's the week of Kaidan and I want to make sure that it's sturdy. I don't want to sell anything that would break rather soon and such. Of course, it's still an art piece in some way and handmade, and there's no guarantee or such, but I still want to provide the best quality possible within the craft I'm using. I like how it looks. I also used nail polish for the eye this time instead of like resin. Also, I fixed my whimsical fairy tree piece with some nail polish, and that cleared up the eye. But yeah, let's see. So let's have a little update. This is now my second cast of 4 lighter cases. I paired them yesterday evening, and in a few hours I will take them out. And in the meantime, I will start painting my bunnies and I will take you along. I will now start with I will first color them in. Have to see how. I don't know yet what style I will go for. Like there's some I want to paint like the Binding of Isaac, like a bit more realistic creepy, and then I want some very playful, cute, creepy. Yeah, here I have 6 that I really like and turned out really well. And then I have 4 here who already got their base color, but they didn't turn out as well. Like, I don't know, I have to see. Don't look at my mess behind the table, it's awful. But yeah, that's where I am at the moment. And then the fun part started, which was painting the magnets. As I already said, I had some clearer visions for what I was going for. I wanted some of the magnets be rather cute and silly and not too much shading and rather flat colors, while the others were supposed to be a bit flashy, a bit like the vibe of the Binding of Isaac. Like that was my main inspiration for the others. So I first started with the ones that were rather simple because also those were the prettier ones in regards of how they came out of the mold. And throughout the whole process I only used acrylics. Like no other medium was used throughout this process. I got some new fancy acrylic paints, which I chose for this project, and I think it's Amsterdam acrylic colors, it's the expert ones. Um, and to work with them was really nice. I already owned one of the colors before, and I like how it feels like, how the color itself, like the paint, how it moves and how easy I can apply it. And just in general, like if you paint with acrylics or any other kind of traditional mediums, depending on what brand you get or what price category, they can react different but also feel different due to the pigments that got used or here or there. Like depending on how they got created, they feel differently. So for the magnets I started by painting the big surfaces of their face. I often started with the bigger surface on the bottom right. uh, and then if I would for example use green on the bottom of that one bunny, I would then give another bunny the green on the top, like so it would look like all those bunnies got cut open and shared those body parts. Like I had 4 bunnies that would do that, and then I had 2 bunnies of the simpler ones that would just have the bottom either in green or in blue, and then their top part was just pink, like a bit more flashy, as if they didn't get any top part, like a zombie whose head got cut open but never closed. For the teeth, I just painted them in a yellowish green, a very light color, and then I painted the staples I colored in a metallic. So very much Frankenstein's monster, how it's often depicted in media, and yeah, that in general that's just the vibe of those bunnies. Frankenstein zombie kind of horror thing. Then for the other bunnies, I just started by giving them their base colors, which were like flashy kind of colors, like beige and then some pink. And I wouldn't take much care of that because I wanted it to look messy and create different kinds of shades and gradients by just putting wet acrylic on wet acrylic, and I would go back over it a few times and slowly but surely go into the direction that I wanted to go into. Like some of them I wanted to keep more pinkish, others I wanted to keep more flashy. I also added some violet. Like I mostly worked with the flesh color and then the pink and then a bit of violet, especially around the eyes. I also added some violet to give them some depth. I had a lot of fun doing this because this is a technique I just like doing. Like, I don't know, also for my whimsical bark tree and the lighter case, I really enjoy to create depth and give it a three-dimensional feel, but also bring it alive. Because if you look at the very simple ones, they're just looking very flat. While the flashy ones, I don't know, I just like the vibe it gives, and I like to render, if I can say it like that. So this is where I'm at with all my bunny magnets. I painted so far. I'm working on those four at the moment. I have no idea how I'm supposed to paint the eyes, like what color or what I should do. Like that, I still have to figure out. And then on the other hand, there is my lighter case. I still have to check up with my brother how the lighter is holding up, like the case. And then some of them are a bit tight inside, so I will have to adjust them slightly and sand them down. And the inside, so that's a bit tricky. Have to see how I'm doing this. For the rest, yeah, I will first sand them and then I will start painting them. Paint the base coat and then add the colors. These will take longer because these are freehands. These are pretty easy because it's like the whimsical fairy tree, and then this is like skin, so I just need to render it. And this one too, like this one is a bit like those four, like skin adjacent. What will be a pain though is to add the wire. This will be very time consuming. Like these will be tricky to finish for Kaidan. These I should wrap up today. I will have to take into consideration that I have to like put varnish on and such. Same for these. Yeah. That's my battle plan for today. And then tomorrow, everything of this, like also the boxes in the back, has to be brought down and put into the car. And I put all my new pins into these bags and I have no idea where to put them. Probably just loosely in the car because these are full. I also have to check on envelopes and business cards and oh my god, so much going on. Yeah, there's another box that I built out of different kinds of carton to have some stock that doesn't fit in here. Oh my god, I have expanded so much, and again, I don't have space. Alice will just woke up, and I'm in a good mood, which makes me very happy. And I look like a mess. Like this is literally me after waking up, and the first thing I did was record an update. Yeah, I somehow like these days where I just like my full day, like my whole day is full of work, and I enjoy them because it's like I sit down and I work and I work and I work on something creative, and the projects coming together, and I really enjoy this. Like I prefer being stressed over the days where I have no idea what to focus on, what to do first, figuring out what has to be done still. And besides also working yesterday, I still sent out emails and communicated and so much. And I think I have quite some commissions in the future if everything works out. Like very excited about those and wondering how I could make like a video about commissions and like including them and showing them. Well, then again, some I can show, others I can't because they are for a release or something. So yeah. Then I started to color in their mouths, and for the gory ones I used simple black, while for the playful ones I used a pink. And I started with this because then it would be easier to afterwards paint in the teeth. Also for the gory ones I used a whitish and off-white kind of color. What I also like throughout this project is that every single bunny has his its personality, is unique. Alone how they look in 3D due to the mold and how the paper mache wood dry gave them a unique look. So alone there, every bunny is different, and then me painting them by hand one after another also caused them to be different from each other. So each bunny is just a little guy and one of a kind. Although they share similarities, they share the same kind of build up, and some of them share the same color schemes. I then moved on and added some black to their eyes, and for the eye that actually can look, I blended it in on the edges, and I added a white dot for the iris. I wanted to keep it spooky, like if the eyes were very deep inside the face, very tired. And for the eggs, I also just painted them black and kept them rather simple. Like for the other bunnies, I colored in their staplers with the metallic color. I kept the same kind of metallic color because I thought it would still fit nicely and also bring it together. Like again, it's two different kinds of series, if you can say it like that. Like you have the cute on your one side, you have the creepy ones on the other side, but they still share traits. Afterwards, I also put a varnish on. It's a spray varnish that I got from Bösner. It's also the Bösner brand. And I really like it. Like it isn't glossy, it's rather like it's in between of glossy and matte, and it's almost empty. I have to get another can of that, maybe even two. So I will probably end up doing that for the future because it's not sticky and I really like how it looks at the end. On which note, I also had birthday, so I got a gift card for Bösner, and I am very excited to get new things. Yes, I love to get art supplies, and I have so many art supplies, and I should go and create more things, but time is an issue. But buying and shopping brings happiness and joy. The conundrum of an artist. What I also did, which you can't see here, on the back of each magnet, I put on the date I finished them, my name, and I gave each one of them a number. So here are the 10 first bunnies. And on another note, I also got the lighter back from my brother, and the lighter would be exposed to a lot of dust and his working hands. And to be honest, I think those lighter cases would survive people and being used. At some point, I will come back to them. I currently have them in a little box where they are safe and I don't lose them. And then I will somewhen continue working on them as many projects. So it is now Thursday evening, and I finished my magnets, which is amazing. I'm very happy about how they turned out, and now I hope that they work. Like it's magnets, of course they work, but I hope that the paint stays and that the varnish is the right one and that they don't get damaged super easily. Like, I don't know. I'm always so scared that something is messed up and then it doesn't, like, it's in some way ruined. So, I don't know. I'm just very anxious about that because I will ask also quite the money because this was a lot of work. Like, sculpting them, preparing the paper mache, painting them, like, this took a lot of my time, so I want the quality to be alright for also like the price and the experience for the people. But yes, they're done. I finished them in time, and I was now like, oh, then I can start with the lighters. But I don't want to stress myself, and I don't want to like be frustrated because I can reasonably not finish them in time. I have to sand them. I have to make sure the lighters fit in, that they are also of a certain quality, because also it's like it has to do with fire, and I don't want to endanger anyone just because I make like something silly looking. So I prefer to take my time and be sure I create something that people will like. So I decided to like focus on those after Kaidan Con for the rest of the year. And instead, I will prepare all my other things. There's still a bunch of things to do. Bringing down the things and checking if I have everything, double checking, and then have some more little breaks in between to which allow me to breathe and not panic and not be anxious and mentally prepare for a 2-day convention. Although KaidanCon is always very pleasant to be at, like the first time I was there was really really nice. I'm looking forward to it, and this also means I can still bake some cookies, which I want to take along for myself to have a snack, and also like to share with friends, because there will be many people I know, and I will actually be sitting next to Aurelak, who is like such a sweet bean, and I'm very excited. And oh my god. But yeah, CurrentCon went very well for me. I had a lot of fun there. I love the team behind the convention. They're always the sweetest. And that's why I also hope that I can come back. I sold, sadly, none of the bunnies I made this video, but I sold 2 Valentino stands, which I sell a bit more rarely, as well as 1 t-shirt and a zine. So I'm very happy about that. Again, lots of fun. And yeah, I didn't film anything because it's a convention where you have to ask if you can record, and also my table was full of smut, so that didn't make any sense. This year was also much bigger than last year, and I'm looking forward to see how Koibana will be like, because that's their sister convention, but it's much more sweeter, lovelier, like much more love focus and yaoi and yuri and all of that thing, while this is more horror. And then yeah, I will apply again for Kaidan, while at Koibana I will be an artist helper if my boyfriend gets in, and I might cosplay, so this will be exciting. But yes, that's about the event. For the rest, I can't wait for December and be done with some commission work. I have a lot of commission work at the moment, like 4 till 6 or so, and 2 of them are like bigger projects. Actually, 3 of them are bigger projects, so looking forward to work on those, but also to wrap them up, and then hopefully be able to focus on personal stuff more, because I miss it and I have a hard time to be invested in it, and I have a hard time doing fan art, and have a hard time drawing or see stuff. I really want to work on my comics, and I say that so often, and I just don't know how to start, when to start, and it's a big workload, but one day I will get to it. And this was it for this video. Here are all my bunnies. One I sold at Weihnachtsmarkt now. Well, I didn't sell it, I gifted it to my mom, my convention mom, because she really wanted one. So one is already gone, and the others I will take along to my other conventions, and until then I will have them here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know down in the comments. I hope I could inspire you or at least give you something nice to watch on the side. And for the rest, I wish you a good day or night wherever you are. Bye!